What would gun reform look like? Would Congress ever do anything at all at this time, even though vast majorities of the American public agree that there should be universal background checks, closing the gun show loophole, those kinds of things? ABC News correspondent Kenneth Moton has been following some of this, and he joins us now for more on this. So, Kenneth, what is the Biden administration proposing or not proposing in response to yet another of these now American trademark massacres? Is there anything the Biden administration is proposing that has the faintest chance of passing?
Terry, you said it. The reality check is that little to no congressional or federal action is expected, even after this latest grisly mass shooting. We heard from a very passionate President Biden last night saying enough is enough. This was a man who was the vice president when the Sandy Hook massacre happened, when those small, young children were murdered inside the halls of their school. But the president stood there at that podium knowing there is very little that he can do. He knows there's little he can do besides use the power of his office to try to force lawmakers to do something. This nation saw what happened when President Obama used a number of executive actions on guns. We also saw a number of legal challenges. So if lawmakers won't act, then this falls on local governments to harden those soft targets. And that's why we saw the FBI director just on Capitol Hill telling a Senate committee that we have to take a real look at hardening schools in this country to try to prevent these types of incidents from happening. I know that we've been discussing hardening our schools. Would it have made a difference in Texas? We don't know, but we should also mention that when it comes to the investigation and the federal response, Kira and Terry, that Director Ray said that he is putting the full weight of the FBI behind that investigation.
Look, Congress, as we know, plays a part here, too. Talked to a mom earlier today. Her son was killed during the Sandy Hook massacre. She said she's so sick and tired of hearing lawmakers, even, the president, saying, our thoughts and prayers are with you. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. She was very transparent and blunt. We have to act. It can't just be parents like me being an advocate, she says, but we need our lawmakers that we vote into office to take action. Stop just talking and trying to make us feel better, but do something. So, Kenneth, give us a reality check. I mean, Congress needs to be held accountable.
And we've got our team on the Hill. Today, they've been chasing them, led by our congressional correspondent, Rachel Scott, where they have literally been chasing down lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, asking, what's next? What are you going to do? And guys, we got the expected answer, which is either we were stonewalled, we didn't get any response from Republicans, or we've got some Republicans offering alternatives that they believe will make somewhat of a difference, but also admitting that there's not much movement here that can happen. We are hearing of renewed talks on Capitol Hill, but when you've got and many people would say that's progress in a very divisive and overly divisive and partisan Congress here. But when you've got children who are just trying to learn dying in the halls of their schools, when you've got elderly people and people of color, as we saw in Buffalo just 10, 11 days ago, just trying to buy groceries when they're being gunned down in the aisles, is that enough? And so many Americans are saying that's not. And what's baffling about all of this, Terry and Kira, as you know, and as Terry mentioned at the top there, is that the vast majority of Americans believe in expanded background checks. But here is where there's a divide or difference here, or a partisan difference in the polling, is that Democrats believe that more restrictions would have an impact on these mass shootings, while a majority of Republicans believe they would not.
A majority of Republicans don't, but it does seem like there's got to be something in the middle, or the Congress is just completely broken. And at the end of the day, what Beto O'Rourke did in Texas, storming that press conference, the kind of outrage and anguish that we see from parents, if that isn't fuel for democratic change, maybe the democracy is broken as well. I know that you'll be covering this for us as we go forward. Kenneth, thanks very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.